Of proper and proper, recently, a Canadian Trini has been invited to join the Academy Awards Committee, believe it or not. And we have the great fortune of chatting with her this morning. I'm talking about Frances Ann Solomon, Director and CEO of Caribbean Tales Media Group. Good morning, Frances Ann.
Good morning. How are you?
I'm fantastic. How are you doing?
I'm doing well. I'm doing
Good.
well. It's kind of early here,
It
but
is. It
that's
is
fine.
very early. But I want to say, first of all, thank you for joining us this early.
No
And
problem. I'm very
secondly,
happy to be here.
congratulations.
Thank
Congratulations.
you. Thank you. Thank you.
For those who don't understand, tell us what it means to be on this committee.
Well, I joined the what's called the academy about a year ago, I
Hmm.
guess, and so now I'm on the executive board. That's what it is. I've been asked to be on the executive board of my branch. So I'm part of the directors branch of the Academy of Motion Picture Arts
Oh,
and Sciences, and I've been invited to be part of the executive that govern the branch, if you like.
well, that's interesting. That means you get a seat in the room that makes the decisions,
Yes, that's
basically.
what it means. Yeah,
Now,
that's what it means. Yeah.
I, I have a bit of a controversial question. In this
Yes.
in this year particularly, that's been marked and impacted definitely by the Black Lives Movement and all those sorts of things. Do you think that the academy is purposely trying to make sure that it positions itself in the right way?
Oh, absolutely, for sure. For the last 4 years, since 2016, you remember Oscars So White? You
Hmm.
remember when that year when there were no nominations at
Yeah.
all of people of color or any of or women or anything?
Hmm.
There's been a deliberate move on the part of the academy to diversify the organization. So previous to that, the academy members were 97% white, 88% male,
Male.
and that just tells you right there 3% non-white people.
Wow.
So since then they've been adding members in order. That was the only way, because membership is lifetime.
Right.
So the only way they could bring in new people was by adding members. So they've been adding about 1,000 people a year from all over the world, and now they're adding people to the executive. So absolutely, and I'm very proud of that. I'm proud to be part of the change.
Nice. How do you see yourself impacting the committee over the next year?
Well, we get to choose who joins the committee and what kind of laws govern the not who joins the academy,
Right.
and what kinds of laws govern the academy. So, for example, this year, speaking of what you were just talking about, the academy passed a ruling that from 2024, no film could be nominated to be eligible for the best picture. You had to have a person of color um, in a lead role. Can you imagine how that's going to change the whole Oscars completely? So those are the kinds of decisions that we will be part of making.
How much more work do you think needs to be done with regard to the diversification of especially of the stories that are told in the mainstream, I guess, movie market?
A lot, a
Hmm.
lot. I mean, the business is still completely dominated by white people and by men. Perhaps less. There are a lot of women who have come in now, but a lot, and also very American centric, right?
Right.
So, in terms of opening up the whole process of these very prestigious and important awards to the whole world, and then I think just globally, even globally, I think it's not just America that has a problem, but Canada, the Europe, and so on.
Right.
It tends to be very colonial, very um, male dominated and very white. So all of that has to change completely.
Do you think though that with forcing or enforcing rules like the one you mentioned just now, where you can't you can't be nominated for best picture if you don't have a person of color in a lead role? Do you
Hmm.
think now that people would start just saying, all right, let me just check off these boxes, and it might
Well,
remove some of the creativity?
they were checking boxes before. I mean, it was like a requirement to be a best picture. Unspoken requirement was that you had to have a white man in the lead.
Right.
Like if everybody knew that. If me as a filmmaker, making television and film programs, I was told bluntly, you can't have a black person in the lead. So by bringing in different rules, you're making it more equal.
Fantastic. Well, I think I look forward to see the changes that happen. I think the changes are going to ripple across the entire world because of
Absolutely.
the influence that, of course, the Academy has on the movie
Yeah,
industry across the world.
exactly.
How do you think that this will have any impact? I know I'm just going to try my hand here, right? But
Yeah.
do you think this has any impact on our industry in Trinidad and Tobago?
Um, well, honestly, I feel like there needs to be more awareness in everywhere. You know, like I know I run a Caribbean film festival, and the first few years that we ran the festival, a lot of the films that we got were from people, white people, either white people outside the Caribbean who were making films about the Caribbean,
Yeah.
or white Trinidadians, white Caribbean people, because they were the people who had access to resources. And then light skinned people like me, you know, and lighter. So, you know, we had to make a deliberate decision within that structure that we were deliberately, with our function was to support and encourage stories from all kinds of people, and particularly to say that Black stories matter because our culture is predominantly Black. Black stories matter, Black perspectives matter, as well as Indo-Caribbean perspectives and other kinds of perspectives, so that it doesn't end up being, you know, the same old. So we made that deliberate decision, and you know, we let everybody know that our function is to tell stories from all walks of life, from all kinds of different people, but particularly from Black perspectives.
Francis, as a child growing up, well, I watched the Academy Awards on television all the time, right? And I imagine that you would have as well.
Mm-hmm.
What was it like to be able to be in the room around this whole experience of the greatest, set of people doing movies in the world?
Well, I remember just a flashback. I remember when I joined the BBC. I was a BBC producer before I came back to Canada. And the first time I went to an interview at the BBC, the guy who was interviewing me was the same guy whose name was on the end of the BBC records, that BBC tapes that we used to have to memorize for A levels
Yeah.
in Trinidad. I nearly passed out. I thought I was seeing a ghost. But to that, you know, at this point in my life, I'm not that, you know, it takes a lot to kind of fit, you know, wow me.
Yeah.
But honestly, when I went to the Oscars last year, I was like, wow, this is amazing. Not because it was the biggest, most important ceremony, you know, in the world, but because it was so professional. It was really entertaining, and it was just incredible to be there, to be in the middle of it, and to see this incredible story factory, entertainment factory, and how it works,
Yeah.
and to be part of that, and to feel like I'm, you know, part of it. I'm on the inside. I'm not any longer on the outside, as you tend to feel. You know, I'm one of the people who's leading this organization. Feels very empowering.
Nice. Well, Francis and Solomon, I want to thank you for joining us this morning, and
Okay,
congratulations again on being on the inside. And I hope that you're able to take some people with you
absolutely.
when you
That's my
get in.
job.
Yeah.
That's what I'm there for. Yes,
Nice.
absolutely.
Thank you again for joining us, and thank you for waking up early to be here. And
Oh, thank
congratulations,
you, thank you, thank you,
and all
thank
the
you.
best going forward. Take care.
Okay,
All
bye.
right. That was Francis Ann Solomon, Director and CEO of Caribbean Tales Media Group, and she has been invited to join the Academy Awards Committee. And that's amazing, you know?